I will be discussing each of the math topics that you need to work on to prepare for the ASVAB test, and we'll be solving some problems. So in this video, I will be discussing on dividing decimals, how to divide a decimal by a whole number, and how to divide any number by a decimal. So let's solve some problems here. Okay, 0.256 divided by 8. So this is a decimal divided by a whole number, which is 8. Now to divide a decimal by a whole number, we set up the division. So this is our division here. And then immediately bring the decimal point straight up into the answer. So let's do that. So this is 256.256 divided by 8. So our decimal point should be here. We just have to bring the decimal point straight up into the answer. Okay, so let's divide 2 and 8. 2 divided by 8 cannot be, so this is 0. And then 0 times 8 is 0. And then we subtract. So this is just 2, and then we bring down 5. We divide 25 by 8. So there are 3 8s in 25. So this would be 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Then we subtract. 25 minus 24 is just equal to 1. And then we bring down 6. So that would be 16. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Then 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. So we don't have a remainder. Therefore, 0.256 divided by 8 is just equal to 0.032. Now let's solve some more problems. 1.218 divided by 0.06. Now to divide any number by a decimal, we must perform an extra step before we can divide this. So we just have to move the decimal point to the very right of the number we are dividing by. Then counting the number of places we are moving it. So we have here 0.06, then we move the decimal point to here. So there are 2 decimal digits, decimal points, places. Then we will also do this to the number that we are dividing into, the 1.218. So we also move 2 decimal places here. So our decimal point will be moved here. Then we can move the decimal point straight up into the answer. So the decimal point should be here. Okay, so that is 0.06, 1.218. Okay, and now we can divide the new numbers. So we have 6, 121.8. So that is 121.8 divided by 6. Okay. So we can divide the first digit 1 by 6. Cannot be, so that's 0. And we can divide 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So we write 2 here on top of 12. 2 times 6 is just equal to 12. And subtract. This is 0. And then bring down 1. 1 1 divided by 6 cannot be, so that is 0. So 0 times 6 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then we bring down 8 here. 18 divided by 6, so this is 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. And this is equal to 0. So we don't have a remainder. Therefore, 1.218 divided by 0.06 is just equal to 20.3. So let's solve this other problem here. 9.8 divided by 7. Okay, so we don't have to move any decimal places here, so we just move the decimal point straight up to the answer here. Then 9 divided by 7 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2, and we bring down 8. And 28 divided by 7 is 4. So 4 times 7 is 28. We subtract. 28 minus 28 is 0. Therefore, 9.8 divided by 7 is just equal to 1.4. Okay, another problem here. 0.0512 divided by 0.0004. So there are decimal places here. So we need to move the decimal point from the number that we are dividing by and the number that we are dividing into. So let's do that. So this is 0.0004 and 0.0512. So let's move the decimal point here. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So we also move the decimal point here 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we move the decimal point straight up to our answer. So the new numbers would be 512 divided by 4. Okay, so now we can divide them. So 5 divided by 4 is 1, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, 5 minus 4 is 1, then bring down 1, so it'll be 11. 11 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. Then we bring down 2. So 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, the decimal point is here, or we can just simply write that as 128. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 minus 32 is 0. Therefore, 0.0512 divided by 0.0004 is just equal to 128. Okay, 196 divided by 0.14. Okay, just have to move the decimal point here 2 places, as well as here. We don't have decimal point in 196, so we add zeros here. So our decimal point would be here. Now we can divide them. Okay, so 19 divided by 14 is 1. 1 times 14 is 14. 19 minus 14 is 5. And then bring down 6. Then 56 divided by 14 is 4. And then 4 times 14 is just 56. So this is 0. And then can just write the zeros here. Therefore, 196 divided by 0.14 is just equal to 1,400. So you take note here that you just have to track on zeros to the right of the last decimal digit in the number you are dividing into under certain conditions. If there aren't enough digits for you to move the decimal point to the right, or if the answer doesn't come out evenly when you do the division, or if you are dividing a whole number by a decimal like this one, then you will have to tack on the decimal point as well as some zeros. That's why we added 2 zeros here at the end. So whatever the number of places here that you moved, the number that you are dividing by, then say for example this one we moved 2 decimal places, then we add 2 zeros to the whole number here, the number that we are dividing into. Okay, 28.6 divided by 0.5. Okay, so we have 1 decimal place here, so we just move it here, and then we move 1 decimal place here too, and then we put the decimal point straight up to our answer. Then we can now divide the new numbers. So this is just 286 divided by 5. So 28 divided by 5 is just 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 28 minus 25 is 3. And then we bring down 6. 36 divided by 5 is just 7. So 7 times 5 is 35. And then 36 minus 5 is 1. So we have our decimal point here. We have a remainder 1, so we can add 0 here, or bring down 0. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Then 10 minus 10 is 0. Therefore, 28.6 divided by 0.5 is just equal to 57.2. So, in this case, our answer didn't come out evenly when we did the division. That's why we had to add 1 0 just to get rid of the remainder. Okay, if Mary Lou paid $11 for 4 pounds of grapes, how much did the grapes cost per pound? So we just have to divide $11 here by 4, so we can find the cost per pound of grapes. So 11 divided by 4 is just equal to $2.75. This is the cost of grapes per pound. So the answer here is letter A. Mary walked a total of 18.6 miles in 4 days. On average, how many miles did she walk each day? Now to solve this, we just have to divide 18.16 miles by the number of days, 4 days, so we can solve for the number of miles Mary walked each day. So this is just equal to 4.65 miles per day. So the answer here is letter C. I will discuss the rest of the topics in the next videos.